So it occurred to me recently that one of the reasons people have such trouble understanding far-left politics may be that the ideas can be really abstract and difficult to visualize. So I decided to employ some visual aids to see if I could help folk understand what people on the left are actually talking about. This video is going to focus on how violence operates differently for the individual and the state. To explain this, I'm going to use a video game analogy. In fighting games, there are traits associated with your character known as hurt boxes and hit boxes. A hurt box is the area where, if struck, you will take damage. A hit box is the area on your attack moves that, when they collide with an opposing hurt box, deals damage. In this video, I'm going to use hitboxes to represent real-world violence and hurt boxes to represent the legal repercussions of that violence. In fighting games, it's advantageous for your character to have large hitboxes and a small hurt box. It's particularly powerful when your hitbox extends much further out than your hurt box. This is known as a disjointed hitbox, and it allows you to attack without putting yourself at risk for counterattack. So, using the analogy of hitboxes to represent violence and hurt boxes to represent the legal repercussions of that violence, a disjointed hitbox would mean that when you do violence, there is minimal risk that you will face legal consequences. Okay, but how does this all relate to the state and individuals? Well, as a general rule, the more political power you have, the more disjointed your hitbox is. Quick aside, for the purposes of this analogy, I'm not factoring in end lag, because that's a tool that developers use to balance attacks with different hitbox sizes, and the whole point I'm trying to make is that in the real world these things are not balanced. I mean, like, if the characters in Smash Bros. Were as imbalanced as the power dynamics between the state and the individual, it would be a miserable game. Okay, so back to our analogy. A protester would have a hitbox like Bowser's that essentially completely overlaps with their hurtbox. This means that any time they enact violence, they are highly likely to face legal consequences. So even something as harmless as throwing a milkshake will often result in criminal charges for the protester. Conversely, a police officer's hitbox extends far beyond their hurtbox, like Lucina's sword. They have the ability to freely enact violence without worrying about facing legal consequences. A Bowling Green University study found that between the years of 2005 and 2018, only 35 police officers were charged with murder or manslaughter from an on-duty shooting in the United States. Considering the Washington Post's finding that about 1,000 people die in the United States each year from police shootings, that means that only about 0.25% of police officers who shoot and kill people face legal consequences. And that's just the police. We haven't even gotten into how much power our politicians have yet. Government officials are so incredibly insulated from the consequences of the violence they enact that I find it easiest to visualize their hitboxes as projectiles like Samus's missiles or energy balls. For example, none of the people who lied to the public about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and led us into an unjust and unnecessary war have seen a day of prison time. Bush, Rumsfeld, Powell, and Cheney, among others, are directly responsible for hundreds of thousands of civilian deaths, but our system is completely incapable of holding them accountable. Similarly, Democrats in Congress disregarding the will of the people and not supporting Medicare for all is a form of violence. In a society with the resources to provide health care to everyone, denying someone treatment because they don't have enough money is violence. And every person who dies because they can't afford medical treatment is a victim of that violence. This violence can also be seen through government inaction on climate change, and not just because our government is a bunch of old men who will be dead before the worst of it hits. You may think that climate change affects us all, and you'd be right, but it does not affect us all equally. The wealthy politicians who dictate climate policy are not the same people who are likely to lose access to clean drinking water, be forced to labor outside during increasingly intense heat waves, or be made homeless or die from extreme weather patterns. All of these things are violence, but they're a violence that's so insidiously baked into our system that we don't even question them. We treat them like they're natural features of the world. We've been taught that these projectiles are just falling out of the sky, but they're not. People are shooting them, and those people have a very vested interest in making sure your definition of violence does not include what they're doing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want me to keep making videos like this, you can like, comment, or subscribe to support my channel. See you next time. Also, shout out to my sister for helping me orchestrate some of these situations in Smash Bros. That I was using here. She did a great job of taking direction, and she was very patient with me, so thanks, Jamie.